Shalom, shalom, shalom. Want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God. Yahweh Shai being the name of his beloved Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. It's the brother Yair Adad of WFI Indiana camp, coming at y'all with a cold cut through the spirit on just fighting back, straight up. All right, fighting back. And I'm not talking about you go and the first person you see, you putting hands on, you putting hands and feet on people. Nah, it's not carnal, but it's rather spiritual. Because in this walk that we in this truth that we in, we fighting, you understand, the longest war known to man, which is the war against the spirit and the flesh. Or whether you say the war against good and evil, or Satan, and however you want to look at it or put it, it's the longest war. All right? And in this war, we got to make sure that we fighting back as well. And you're not down. Jake in the world, like, you know what that means. Somebody tell you, man, fight back. You don't want to be put in that position where you like, dang, like, you gotta tell somebody, man, fight back, or whatever the case may be, because that means you're not fighting. All right, and when it comes to these spirits that attack you, guess what? They fighting, they swinging, they kicking, they scratch, they doing all they can to do their job, which is to get you off of the path of righteousness, which is to get you off of that, off of that righteous pathway that the Most High God has set you upon, with putting you and exposing you and having you follow this truth in the first place. So with that and understanding that, we got to make sure that we equipped and able to fight back in these last days as well, and not just playing defense all the time. You just going like this. You on the ropes, just going like this. You ain't throwing no punches. You just like this all day. All right. That's not gonna fare well for you in the long run. And I'll explain what I mean. But first, let's go to the book of 1 Peter chapter 5. All right. It's the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." So these spirits, they got a job to do, and they love doing their job. And their job is to what? To get you off of that path. They literally seeking your spirit, literally seeking your soul. So with understanding that, you got to make sure that you know how to stick and move in this thing. All right. Playing the defense. Before I get into that, let's go to the book of 1 Chronicles chapter 21. It's just getting another example, because these spirits are going to attack you. They attack all of us. All right. It's the book of 1 Chronicles chapter 21 and verse 1. It says, "And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel." Provoked meaning what? He attacked him. Right? The spiritual demon Satan attacked David, man. He attacked him. He swung on him. And he connected. When you continue to read this account, if you got ears to hear. All right? He connected on it. Right? So with understanding this, we got to make sure that we know how to stick and move, bob and weave, play the defense as well as the offense, which is fighting back. Because you're fighting back by doing what? Hey, these prayers. You understand? Throwing up the prayers, fasting, rebuking. All right, let's get an example of that. Because a lot of times, sometimes you, Jake or Eve, when things come about that you know is not necessarily righteous or in righteousness, you kind of just avoid it instead of rebuking it or reproving it. You may think a thought, and you don't really rebuke that thought. You just you think about it, and you just tell yourself, "Oh man, all right, let me think about something else." But you don't rebuke it though. You don't pray to the Most High God to have him remove that thought from you, for it to never come back again, or to set scourges over your thoughts to be able to keep those type of things out or away. Or you say, I rebuke that spirit. Well, however, but you're not rebuking it. You kind of just let it come into your mind frame. You kind of entertain it, and then you think about the next thing. You just go on. You're not rebuking it. Or it come into your mind and you just try to change your thought process and whatever it's talking about. Rebuke it, brother. All right. So that, Lord willing, that you can build up a defense system or a way to be able to attack this spirit that's coming up against you. You know, whether that be a spirit of lust, whether that be a spirit of hatred, whether that be a spirit of malice, envy, whatever it is, to be able to purge that out. All right. And doing that is what? Praying, fasting, reading the precepts, meditating on these different things, and rebuking it as well, just like how Christ did. Let's get that real quick in the book of Matthew, I believe 16. Yeah, it's the book of Matthew, chapter 16, and verse 21. It says, "From that time forth began Yahushua to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed, and be raised again the third day. But Peter, then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, Be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me, for thou savorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men." So Peter, the spiritual demon Satan, kind of hopped on Peter to try to tell the Lord, hey, look, you don't have to go through this, Lord. Right? God forbid that you got to die for the nation of Israel. God forbid that you got to die and fulfill prophecy so that the whole nation doesn't perish. So that was going on. That was the spiritual demon Satan, though, hopping on Peter. And Yahushua perceived it and said, Get thee behind me, Satan. Basically saying, hey, get away from me. He rebuked the spirit. He got on it. All right. Why? Because he understood. Right? He kind of, he bobbed and weaved, and then he kind of did his thing. Kind of stuck it out. And even when you read about the life of Yahushua and the prayers that he prayed unto the Most High God, because he knew what would befall him. He knew the things that he would have to go through. That was him playing the offense. All right, because those spirits was playing on his mind when you go through these different accounts of Yahushua. Those spirits is playing on his mind. That's why the spirit will hop on his disciples, the ones that was closest to him, to try to tell them, oh no, you don't got to go through this, or you don't got to do this, or they just sad. Every time he bring it up, they sad, or they try to act like they don't, whatever the case may be, because who wants to die purposefully? Who wants to be, not even just die, but who wants to be tormented? Tortured. All right? So, Yahushua, what did he have to do, man? He had to rebuke that spirit. All right? Let's go to the book of 1 Chronicles, or 2 Chronicles, rather. I'm on 2 Chronicles chapter 20. All right? And verse 2. I'm going to start at 1. Right? It says, "It came to pass after this also that the children of Moab and the children of Ammon, and with them other beside the Ammonites, came against Jehoshaphat to battle. Then there came some that told Jehoshaphat, saying, There cometh a great multitude against thee from behind, and so like it from beyond the sea on this side Syria, and behold, they be in Hazan Tamar, which is in Engedi. And Jehoshaphat feared and set himself to seek the Lord, and proclaimed a fast throughout all Judah." So what did David do? He proclaimed a fast. All right, Jehoshaphat, he proclaimed the fast. When we're gonna continue to read, but he proclaimed the fast through the Spirit. But what did he do? He seeked the Most High God first. So he seeked the Most High God. He proclaimed the fast. All right, when he proclaimed this fast, that's him playing the offense. All right, that's him. You understand, when you look at this on a spiritual level, when you look at this on a spiritual level, that's like you going through things. right? Or before you even begin to go through things, you kind of perceive things as certain situations that may arise, or certain things that you might see brewing, or you might be going to a particular place or whatever the case may be, and you kind of perceive that it could be certain spirits there, so you prepare yourself. Or you might be going to the workplace, you might work in a warehouse, right? If you ever worked in a warehouse, you kind of know how it could get in there. So you prepare your mind frame, you prepare yourself for these different things to be able to do what? Hey, to be able to battle against these spirits and to fight against them. All right. And Jehoshaphat, when they perceived that it was a host coming, a great host coming towards them, what did he do? And he proclaimed the fast. And when you continue reading the rest of this account, man, hey, guess what? They won the battle. They won the battle that came against them, man. And guess what? The Lord fought their battle for them, man. Right? The Lord told them, stand ye still. Paraphrasing. All right, so, hey, even Jehoshaphat, guess what? Hey, he played the offense, man. Right? He fought back. So when those spirits, when that host is coming up against you, right, on the spiritual level, these different things you can kind of perceive is coming up against you, or whatever the case is, or you may be in that anger spirit is upon you, and in the midst, you kind of perceive, and you like, you know what? Matter of fact, now let me go throw up a prayer real quick. Or you know what, let me hop in this fast then. Or you know what, let me go read a couple chapters, man. Right, this is Satan trying to play with me. Satan trying to get to me. Let me go meditate on let me go watch a video real quick. Or let me go do whatever it is in righteousness that you can go do, right, to fight against these spirits that try to come up against you and try to knock you off of that path of righteousness. All right, let me get this precept in the book of Matthew. All right, it's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse, I'm gonna start at 29. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 29. It says, and if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that the whole body should be cast into hell. So ultimately, cutting off certain things, or cutting off whatever needs to be cut off, that's a way to fight back as well. All right, fasting is a way to fight back, obviously, like we just went into. And guess what? Cutting off whatever that thing that may be plaguing you is, that's a way to fight back as well. All right, let's read on. It says, and if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off, cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. You see that? So these different things that may come up against you, and you can perceive, or you can see which ways that it would be beneficial unto you to get rid of, right? If you got rid of this, or you got rid of that, you know, and it can help you to overcome whatever you need to overcome, then guess what? Do it. That's you fighting back against these spirits, instead of just playing the defense all the time. You, like I said, you just up on the ropes. You just taking these punches. All right, trying to run from the problem, right? Or trying to flee from the problem, but instead of taking care of it. All right, you got to kill that old man. You gotta be moving in the spirit of like how many of our kings move. All right, when you read the book of First Kings, right, and you reading about Solomon, right? Solomon, when he was established as the king, he went on, right? And he was to put it plain, he was getting the wickedness, he was putting out the kingdom, man. King Solomon was putting the wickedness out of the kingdom. He was getting people murked left and right who was moving in the spirit of unrighteousness. Right? You read about that through the 1 Kings chapter 2. Right? 1 Kings chapter 2, chapter 3, and so on. How he was just getting through Joel, I believe, I forget his name. Salakia. I think it was like Joadiah, or Jodiah. Yeah, Joadiah. Salakia for the pronunciation, but hey, he was having him go through, and every man, you know, that was moving in the spirit of wickedness or that tried to conspire against him. Hey, Solomon, hey, he had Joiada go through and he told him, hey, fall upon this man, and he killed him. That's the kind of spirit you got to move in, you know, in righteousness, in the spirit of, hey, those things that's plaguing you, those things that's tempting you, those things that's having you move in the spirit of unrighteousness, that's knocking you off of that path of the way of the Lord. Hey, you have to put those things to death, man. You got to kill those different things. You got to cut them off, put them in the dirt. All right, you got to go fall upon them. And when I say fall upon, when the scriptures say fall upon that man, hey, that means you gotta get him murked. All right, you gotta get him gone. All right, let's go to the book of 2 Chronicles. Let's get 2 Chronicles. I believe I won't. Bear with me. It's the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 34. Bear with me. All right. Actually, I'm gonna just get it in the book of 2 Kings. All right. We'll get it in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 23. Bear with me. Where Josiah was going through, all right, and he was tearing down all of the wicked and abominable temples and pillars. All right. It's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 23, and verse 4. Salakia. I'm gonna get right to the point. Yeah. It's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 23, and verse 4. It says, and the king commanded Hilkiah the high priest and the priests of the second order and the keepers of the door to bring forth out of the temple of the Lord all the vessels that were made for Baal, and for the grove, and for all the host of heaven. And he burned them without Jerusalem in the field of Kidron, and carried the ashes of them unto Bethel. And he put down the idolatrous priest, and the kings of Judah he had ordained to burn incense in the high place of the cities of Judah, and in the high places round about Jerusalem, them also that burn incense to Baal, to the sun, and to the moon, and to the planets, and to all the host of heaven. And he brought out the grove from the house of the Lord without Jerusalem unto the brook Kidron, and burned it at the brook Kidron, and stamped it and stamped it small to powder, and cast the powder thereof upon the graves of the children of the people. So yeah, that's the spirit that we gotta move in. We gotta move in the spirit of how Jehoshaphat moved in, the spirit of King Josiah, the spirit, right, of King Solomon, when he was putting down the unrighteousness in the kingdom when he first got established. All right, that's the spirit that you got to move in, and that's the offense, and that's the fight back that you got to do. All right, you got to cut it. If it's offending you, if it's causing you to go out, you got to cut it off. All right, whether that be lust, a spirit of anger, a spirit of envy, a spirit of lasciviousness, a spirit of slothfulness, whatever it is, you got to cut it off. And there's ways to go about each and every single last thing that we deal with in this life. It's just about you. You got to be a strategist, like our forefather Joshua was, man. When you read the book of Joshua, man, in the many battles that they fought in, he was a master strategist, man. Setting up different things and different plays on how to do things and how to conquer the cities, and how to win the wars, so on and so forth. That's how you got to be in this truth, because this is a war. against what? The flesh against the spirit. The same way how you strategize, how people strategize for actual wars or actual whatever it is that has a need for strategy. That's the spirit that you got to move in as well. You got to treat this as such, and make sure you fighting back, man. How? Like we brought out a prayer, fasting, cutting these different things off, and utterly killing and cutting off and burying these different things that's coming up against you. And when you read that account in 2 Kings chapter 23, hey, not only did he burn, not only did he take them out and burn them, hey, it said he stamped it. Meaning after he did those different things, he stomped on it, man. You gotta, meaning what? You gotta hate the things that plague you. You can't pass by, you can't entertain it. You can't love doing these different things. You gotta hate it. Because the more you hate it, the more you're gonna want to get rid of it, and the more measures you're gonna take to try to remove these different things from you. Because you gotta hate what the Lord hate, man. You gotta hate what the Lord hate. Tell you that in the book of Proverbs chapter 8 and 13. All right, so remember Israel, right? Make sure you fighting back, man. You gotta fight back in these last days. Don't just sit there on the ropes the whole time. All right, or you just letting the battle come to you all the time. And when it comes to you, you don't do nothing. You just watching the city burn down. Right? Who's the city? You the city. Are you watching your temple be burned down? You watching your temple be ransacked and profaned? No, but what you got to do, you got to fight back. You got to strategize. Once you strategize, right, which is prevalent to what? Seeking the Lord. All right. So once you strategize, which is seeking the Lord, and then you put forth that plan. Once you put forth that plan, whether it be reading, praying, fasting, meditating on the precepts, getting counsel, cutting these different things off, however you go about it, hey, just make sure you're putting it forth in these last days. All right, so make sure we fighting back in these last days, Israel. All praise to the Most High. Kwame Yasha Allah. Shalom.